Hi, my name is Andriy Luchenko, and I would like to talk about the differences in certain business cultures and management practices in Canada and also in my home country, Ukraine. So first of all, as we all know, there's nothing similar between one company or another, so left aside two different cultures. And I'm really excited to present my own findings and reflections on this topic. And I have also worked in Canada here in different roles, which also include managerial roles. And I have worked in Ukrainian companies on similar positions, so that could be a good analysis. First of all, I'd like to talk about the business hierarchy. In Ukraine, the business hierarchy matters. So it means that the senior management executives, they take key decisions and the staff supports them. However, in Canada, the decisions can be made in teams and the titles matter less. Also, I'd like to point out the Hofstede theory about feminine and masculine features in the business culture. So I would say that many senior management executives in Ukraine are still men, although it's on the way to transition and have a more holistic approach to the gender equality. However, I would say that in Canada, there is still more senior management executive which are female. So this is one of the difference. Another thing I'd like to talk is the communication style. So because Canada is such a multicultural country, here I've noticed and I've seen that the communication is quite direct and it's more task-based. Although in Ukraine, the business communication could be more indirect, where staff is expected to get the meaning of the task from the seniors, and yeah, thanks to this cultural similarity and homogeneous society in Ukraine. So you can understand more indirect tasks, but in Canada, they're definitely quite direct. And now the most important part is, I would say, the staff itself and the stakeholders in business. So as Hofstede mentions, there's two different styles. One is individualism and the other one is collectivism. So since Ukraine inherited the communist past, although now it's transformed a lot, it's still quite a collective culture. However, in Canada, it's more of an egalitarian approach, and every individual wants to contribute to a decision making or result. Also, what really unites us both is the long-term relationships. They're definitely valued both in Ukraine and in Canada, be it a long-term client or when you look for new staff. Everyone is interested to keep them for long-term because that provides better results. So relationships matter. But when it comes to staff itself, the Ukrainian staff is more open to take risks and is more innovative in completing tasks rather than in Canada. That could be because, again, homogeneous culture and indirect communication also could lead to that you could become a little bit more creative and take up risks. When we talk about punctuality, I wouldn't say there's a huge difference, but it's definitely okay for a Ukrainian manager to start the meeting later or be late to the meeting while the staff is already there. However, in Canada, like I was advised by my colleague, if you're on time, you're late. It's better to be 5 minutes before. So that's something worth mentioning. And when it comes to relationships at work, in Canada, it's more business-oriented environment at work, but in Ukraine, it's a mixture of both. So there is nothing wrong to ask about some personal details, including even family situation, just to understand who is working with you. And I guess this management style brings people a little bit closer, and then everyone switches to business right away. So it's not it's very thin line between the personal and business, but it's not that hard to switch from one to another in Ukraine. However, in Canada it's more conservative. And in the end, I would definitely want to mention multiculturalism, because Canada is a multicultural country. So here people come from all sorts of backgrounds, and you need to learn how to manage all of these people from different backgrounds. So first of all, Canadian managers are patient, they are clear, and they want to hear the staff, because the staff may come from completely different cultures. So it's really important to listen. And I've noticed that the Canadian managers, they do listen attentively. However, in Ukraine, it's rather a monocultural society, so many things can be omitted or not as polite as in Canada, just because everyone understands each other from half a word, again, because it's one culture, and in Canada there's many cultures. I think that my experience working in Canada definitely helped me to open up and to become a better listener when I talk to my colleagues, or even to my workers which I directly supervise. And I would say that my managerial style definitely changed. And as we say in Ukraine, one head is good, but two heads are better, meaning the brains. So the more you listen, the more you actually hear your staff, the better it is. So I would say that my working and management style changed in that direction, which I'm really happy about. Thank you for your attention.